What would trigger a critical threat level in the UK? In the United Kingdom, the national terror threat level is not symbolic. It is not political messaging, it is not media theatre, and it is not set by ministers during press conferences. It is a structured, intelligence-driven assessment. Most of the time, the UK threat level sits at substantial, meaning an attack is likely. Sometimes it rises to severe, meaning an attack is highly likely. But there is one level above all others. Critical. Critical means an attack is expected imminently. Not theoretical, not abstract. Imminent. So what would actually trigger a critical threat level in the UK? To answer that, we need to understand how the system works. The UK threat level is set by the Joint Terrorism Analysis Centre, known as JTAC. JTAC is based within MI5 but draws staff from across the intelligence community. Analysts from MI5, MI6, GCHQ, Defence Intelligence, Counter-Terrorism Policing and other departments contribute intelligence and assessments. JTAC does not conduct operations. It analyses intelligence. It reviews signals intercepts, human intelligence, surveillance reporting, foreign liaison intelligence, online activity, financial tracking data and law enforcement reporting. Threat levels are based on capability and intent. Capability means whether a group or individual has the means to conduct an attack. Intent means whether they are planning to act. A critical threat level would only be triggered when intelligence indicates both capability and intent are present, and the attack timeline is immediate. This does not mean a general rise in tensions. It does not mean international instability. It does not mean hostile rhetoric online. It means there is credible intelligence pointing to a specific, imminent attack. That could involve a confirmed plot where suspects are in final stages of preparation. It could involve intercepted communications that indicate an operation is about to be executed. It could involve real-time surveillance confirming that attackers have acquired weapons and selected targets. In simple terms, critical means authorities believe an attack could occur at any moment. Historically, the UK has moved to critical on rare occasions, often following major intelligence breakthroughs or immediately after an attack when follow-on plots are feared. For example, after coordinated attacks or when intelligence suggests a second wave is being prepared. But what thresholds must be crossed? First, corroboration. Intelligence rarely stands alone. A single intercepted message is not enough. Analysts seek multiple streams of confirmation. Human source reporting may align with signals intelligence. Surveillance may confirm suspicious movements. Financial tracking may show unusual transfers. Second, credibility of sources. JTAC analysts evaluate reliability. Is the human source proven? Is the communication authentic? Is there evidence of deception? Third, immediacy. This is the key factor separating severe from critical. Severe means an attack is highly likely, but timing may be unclear. Critical means timing appears imminent. For example, if intelligence suggests that an explosive device has already been constructed and a target identified within days or hours, that could meet the threshold. Or if a known extremist cell has mobilized and gone dark after surveillance detected final preparations. Once JTAC assesses that the threshold is met, it formally sets the threat level. Importantly, this decision is independent of political leadership. The Home Secretary is informed, the Prime Minister is briefed. COBR, the Cabinet Office briefing rooms, may be activated, but the assessment itself is intelligence-led. When the threat level moves to critical, immediate operational consequences follow. Counter-terrorism policing increases armed patrols at key sites. Security at airports, transport hubs, and critical national infrastructure intensifies. Military personnel may support protective security under Operation Tempora. Public awareness messaging may be adjusted. Behind the scenes, surveillance resources are surged. Arrest decisions are accelerated. Warrants may be executed earlier than planned. The aim is disruption before detonation, but it is important to understand something subtle. Sometimes authorities may already be aware of a plot, but choose not to raise the level immediately if they believe arrests can safely neutralize it without signaling public panic. Critical is not declared lightly because it carries consequences. It signals to hostile actors that authorities are aware. It affects markets, transport systems, public confidence, and international perception. Therefore, analysts balance risk carefully. There is also a broader dimension. The UK threat system is not static. It adapts to evolving forms of terrorism. Traditional coordinated group attacks are one model, but lone actor attacks complicate assessment. An individual radicalized online, acting independently, may move rapidly from intent to execution with minimal detectable preparation. In such cases, intelligence windows are shorter. That is why surveillance, data analysis, and community reporting matter. Another factor that could trigger critical is credible foreign intelligence. If an allied service within the Five Eyes alliance shares confirmed intelligence of an imminent attack linked to UK targets, that information is integrated into JTAC assessment. Intelligence sharing can accelerate threat level changes. There is also the scenario of cascading risk. If an attack occurs abroad and intelligence suggests copycat or coordinated attacks may follow in the UK, the level could be raised preemptively. However, raising to critical does not mean an attack is guaranteed. It means intelligence indicates expectation. The system is probabilistic, not prophetic. Now consider a modern hybrid threat scenario. Cyber operations alone would not typically trigger the national terrorism threat level, as that system is focused on terrorism. However, if a cyber operation were part of a broader coordinated attack involving physical harm, the threshold calculus could shift. The key variables remain capability, intent, and immediacy. There is also internal review. Threat levels are reassessed constantly. If arrests disrupt a plot, the level may quickly return to severe. The public often only sees the headline announcement. What they do not see is the continuous intelligence cycle operating underneath. Collection, analysis, validation, briefing, reassessment. The UK's threat level system exists to communicate risk clearly without exposing sensitive intelligence. It must balance transparency with operational secrecy. And the highest level, critical, represents a moment when intelligence indicates that time has nearly run out. In practical terms, it means authorities believe that without immediate intervention, an attack is likely to occur within hours or days. That is the threshold, not political pressure, not media panic, but converging intelligence pointing to imminent harm. Understanding this system matters, because it reveals something important about national security. Threat levels are not emotional reactions. They are structured assessments built on classified intelligence, analytical judgment, and constant review. And when the UK moves to critical, it is because analysts believe the danger is no longer theoretical. It is immediate. That is what would trigger a critical threat level in the United Kingdom, not fear, not speculation, but credible intelligence indicating that an attack is expected imminently. And in those moments, the entire security apparatus shifts into accelerated posture, designed to disrupt, contain, and prevent, before the public ever sees the details. Because in modern security systems, timing is everything, and critical means time is almost gone.